This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Welcome everyone. I'm going to Erev Shabbos. Today is already Ches Av, so in a way it's Erev Tisha B'Av. So we want to speak a little bit about preparing ourselves for the day, the Tzayim HaChamishi. And we sort of think to ourselves, yes, Tisha B'Av is a sad day. It's a day of Churban. Klal Yisrael is not on the best level maybe, but at least, Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of learning, and there's a lot of Kedusha, and there are a lot of mitzvahs going on. So it's not the way maybe it could be, but it's, not bad. Well, we need to get a little reality check to describe very vividly, where are we holding today in 2015? Let's get an accurate description on a spiritual level. Where are we holding? So the Vilna Gaon, who was proficient in all areas of Torah, revealed and hidden, he was a baki in all of Kabbalah. One of the classic svarim of Kabbalah is something called Safra D'Tzniusa, and the Vilna Gaon wrote a commentary on it. Most of what he writes in Safra D'Tzniusa is Nelam. It's completely close to us. But his concluding comments on the Safra D'Tzniusa are actually very important and understandable to all of us. And he says the following. From the moment that the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Yatsa Ruchenu, our spirit left, Ateras Roshenu, the crown of our head, Binisharnu Rak Anachnu Hu Haguf Shala B'lai Nefesh, and we are left with a body without a soul. In other words, on a spiritual level, we died. When the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Ruchnius wise, we're dead. Not, pretty good, we have a lot of yeshivas around, and we make a Siyam Hashas every 7 years, and we learn in the Kollel here. No, we died. When the second Beis Hamikdash, we died. But at least, the body, the spiritual body was there. No. V'yitzia l'chutz, when we had to go to Chutz, when we left Eretz Yisrael, hu hakever, then we were buried. Not only did we spiritually die, we were spiritually buried. Verima misayvevas aleinu, and now the worms surround us. Ve'in biyadeinu lahatzol, we cannot save ourselves. Who are the worms? Hein akum ha'oichlam b'sareinu, the Gentiles. But at least, we died and we're buried, but at least the spiritual body is intact. But at least we had big groups of academies and great yeshivos, Surah, Pampadisa, so at least the body was intact. But no, after the fall of the great Torah academies, Ad Shenirkav Habasar, the flesh began to rot. So you say, but at least the skeleton is intact. No! V'ha'atzomois nifzaru pizur achar pizur, the bones were scattered. So you say, okay, but at least we're a bag of bones. So right now, the best we could claim we are a bag of bones. Compared to life, we're not dead. No, don't underestimate. If somebody says, now that the Beis Hamikdash is destroyed, we're dead. No, we're not. You have no right to say we're even dead. That would be an overstatement to say that we're dead. We don't even have a skeleton. We're just a bag of bones. Says the Gro, we're not even a bag of bones. At least the bones used to be intact. Who are the bones? Says the Gaon, in the olden days we had real Talmidei Chachamim. We had Rashi, we had Tosfos, we had the Rambam, we had the Ramban, we had the Rif, the Rosh, the Rashba, the Ran. Right, and those are the olden days. Mamidei Agof, at least they kept the bones together. But now, says the Gaon, Ad Shenirkavu ha'atzomis, now the bones have rotted. V'lo nishar ela tarvad rekev me'itanu. You know what tarvad rekev is? Corpse dust. Corpse dust. That means bones that have been laying in the ground for thousands of years. Eventually, they disintegrate. V'nase ofar, we are now dirt. So if somebody says, now that the Beis Hamikdash is destroyed, it's like we're dead. You wish it. You wish you were like you were dead. If only we could be on the madrega of being dead. No, we're not dead. We don't even have a body. We don't even have a skeleton. We don't have bones. All that we could hope for, says the Vilna Gaon, Va'anachnu mekavin ata l'tchias hamesim. We need spiritual revival. And therefore, says the Gaon, an amazing thing. When we say every Friday night from Yeshaya, Hisnari me'afar, shake us off from the dust, Kumi, let us arise. Says the Gaon, it doesn't mean shake us off from the dust where we are. It's shake us off from the dust that we are. Because right now we are dust. Compared to the olden days, 2,000 years ago, when we had a mikdash and we had spiritual vitality, we are not spiritually dead. We are not spiritually buried. We don't have a spiritual skeleton. We don't even have bones. We're dust. And if the Vilna Gaon is saying that in his days he's dust, then we're not even dust. We wish we were dust. If only we would be the dust of the Vilna Gaon. That's what kind of level we're on.
Mashma from the Vilna Gaon that if the Beis HaMikdash was Chaim, if the Mason wouldn't be considered dust.
No. This is a mashal. This is a mashal to the spiritual level that we're on today. So, this is the description of the Gaon as to where we're holding. So yeah, we have big yeshivas and they have thousands of talmidim and there's a lot of learning, but it's all watered down is an understatement. It's nothing. It's zero. It's less than zero is a compliment. It's not compared to what was. You can't even. That's where we're holding.
What was?
Now, if you look in the Mechaber, in Siman Tav Kuf Nun Tes, Mechaber says a very important halacha, but a very difficult halacha, and that is the Mechaber says Ein oimrim tachnon b'Tisha B'av, ve'ein noiflim al pneihem, mishum demikri mayid. Tisha B'av is called a mayid. Where is it called a mayid? In Megillas Eicha, it says Kara lai mayed lishbar bachurai. That Rabbi Shem calls it a mayed. Rabbi Shem calls it a mayed. Now, what kind of mayed is this? Tisha B'av is a mayed. It's like a bad. That's a bad joke. Tisha B'av is not a mayed. What are you celebrating? Celebrating the blood that was dripping in the rivers of pools of blood from the Nebuchadnezzar.
It's called a mayed.
What are you celebrating? You're celebrating that in Bayis Sheni the Romans killed 1.1 million Jews. You're celebrating that in 1391 200,000 Jews were forcibly baptized in Spain. Where are you celebrating 300,000 Jews were kicked out of Spain in 1492. What is the celebration? What's the mayed? What exactly is the mayed? And the various interpretations are offered. We offered an explanation this past Tuesday. In the Bnei Yissaschar brings down from that on Tisha B'av is the birthday of Mashiach. Mashiach is born on Tisha B'av, but still, how is it a mayid? He didn't come yet. We're still waiting for him. What's the mayid? Others say, in the Imrei Pinchas, Rav Pinchas Karaser, he brings down that the Rebbe Shalom was hishlech hamasai al eitzim ba'avanim. Hashem vented His anger on sticks and stones instead of on Klal Yisrael. So the mayid is that at least we're. So the following idea occurred to me, perhaps to explain a little bit what is the mayid. What is the mayid of Tisha B'av? And that is the famous comments of Rabbi Yaakov Emden, where Rabbi Yaakov Emden writes in his Siddur, the Siddur Sulam Beisel. He writes this in Sulam Gadol Chavak Beis. He says the following, and something we've quoted in the past, but the idea that we want to bring out is a new one. Says Rabbi Yaakov Emden, V'yeich lo yevoish ha'koifer b'hashgacha v'yamoid nichlam. The heretic, how can he not be utterly ashamed and be embarrassed? Mi sheyayin b'yichud in yonenu mamadenu ba'olam. Someone who looks honestly at our standing in this world. Anachnu ha'uma hagoyla. We, the exiled nation. We were exiled from every single country we've ever been in. People think, yeah, but not America. Only somebody who never opened up a history book thinks that way. We were exiled from every single country we've ever been in. After everything that has passed over us. Me'atzaros, from the tragedies, v'hatmuros, and the movings, alofim me'ashanim. Ve'ein uma ba'olam nirdefes kamaynu. There is no nation that has ever been pursued like us. Marabim hayut sarenu. How great is our pain. Ma'otzmu nasurosh hakam aleinu minurenu. How powerful were the nations who attacked us. Lahashmidenu, to destroy us. La'akrenu, to uproot us. L'sharshenu, to pull us out. Mibnei asina shesibasa kina rabot sarunu, because of their hatred. Gam lo yachlu lanu la'abdeinu chasim, but they were not able to. And all those nations who try to destroy us, who try to uproot us, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Persian Empire, the Aztecs, the Incas, what has become of them? The only thing that we have of them is you go to a museum and you see a little clay pot shard. This is a piece of clay from a little cup of the Roman Empire. Ooh, everyone, Ovad Zichram. Nobody remembers them. Batal Sivram, Sart Silam. Va'anu hadvekim b'Hashem kulanu chayim ayom, and the Jewish people, we continue to cling to the living God. Loi nifgad mimenu, nothing is missing. B'chol toikef arichas galuseinu. Afilu ois, there's not one letter of the Sefer Torah that's missing. V'nikod echad, there's not one dot that's missing. Mitar shabachsav. B'chol divrei chachamim kayomim lo yatel la'aretz min olam. Every word of the Gemara has hundreds of mefarshim on it. Lo sholat bahem yad. No, not only are we not missing from Rashi, now we have thousands of perushim on every word of the Gemara. What will the smart philosopher say about this? We're the Roman Empire. If you want to see anything about the Roman Empire, you have to go to the British Museum, and you could see a tooth of the emperor of the British Museum. This tooth they found in the war that his head was smashed open. Whoa, very nice. Says Rabbi Yaakov Emden, Hayad HaMikra Asa Kalena. Is it just coincidental that all of our pursuers are a relic of the past and we are still alive today? Chai nafshi! I swear, he says. Ki b'hizbainani b'nefloi seila. When I think about these miracles, the miracle of the existence of Klal Yisrael and the lack of existence of all the Ummah Sa'ilam, Gadlu etzli yoiser, it is much greater to me. Mikol nisim b'neflois she'asa Hashem Yisbarach la'avoseinu b'Mitzrayim. To me, it's greater than all the miracles of Egypt. Dam, Tzfardeya, Kinim, Oroy, Makas b'Chayros, Kriyas Yamsuf. Big deal, Kriyas Yamsuf. What's Kriyas Yamsuf compared to a Jew in 2015? Uva Midbar, Uva Eretz Mitzrayim, V'chol ma she'orach ha'golus yoiser. The longer the golus lasts, Nisamis hanis yoiser. The miracle is greater. V'noida masa sakfai gvorasai. And we see the greatness of Hashem. V'hinei lo'nafal mikol devrei ma'aretz. And not one word of the Nevi'im did not come true. Lo yizboinein kol yosef yishtoinein ki elekei olam Hashem b'leiv shalem elav yischanan. Says Rabbi Yaakov Emden, in the 18th century, that to him the existence of a Jew is more miraculous than the splitting of the Red Sea. And if Rabbi Yaakov Emden said this about the existence of a Jew in the 1700s, what would Rabbi Yaakov Emden say about a Jew in 2015? He would probably say, it's a nes she'ein kol malach uberia yecholim l'sha'er. Because Rabbi said, for a Jew to be here today, it's not statistically unlikely, it's not highly improbable, It's downright impossible. There are no odds. There would be no odds in Vegas about what the possibility of us being here today would be. It's not statistically unlikely. It's downright impossible. And if Rabbi Yaakov Emden was impressed by the existence of a Jew in the 18th century, just imagine what he would say about the existence of a Jew today. And people say, if only I would see a miracle, then I would really daven with kavanah. If only God would show me the splitting of the Yam Suf, then I would be an Erl Chayid. Well, ask Rabbi Yaakov Emden about that. Rabbi Yaakov Emden would tell you, God has shown you greater miracles than even the nation that came out of Mitzrayim, even the nation that witnessed Yetzias Mitzrayim. So perhaps we could suggest the following, that if we have a Yom Tif to commemorate Yetzias Mitzrayim, and that's Pesach, and we have a Yom Tif to commemorate Sukkot, Anani HaKavod, and we have a Yom Tif to commemorate Maimon Har Sinai, then Kal v'chomer ben benoy shel kal v'chomer al achas kama v'kama. How could we not have a Yom Tif to celebrate the greatest nes of all, and that is the nes that Klal Yisrael is still around. And it's only on a Tisha B'Av that we recall all of the tsaras and all of the obstacles and all of the terrible disasters that happened to our people. And yet here we are. We're still sitting on the floor, sitting kinnis. We can't help but say, you know what? Even though this is the day of doom and this is the day of disaster, but it's also a moed. And it's not a moed for a small thing. Because if Rabbi Yaakov Emden feels that the greatest miracle, greater than all the miracles of Mitzrayim, is the existence of a Yid, then us, 250 years later, the moed of Tisha B'Av is even greater than it was 250 years ago. And perhaps in this...
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.